When we win, we get it back, then we take it on back to a ladder so unbalanced. It's the Masochist challenge.
Hello and welcome into the episode. We are starting tonight at Gold Tier 4, and by my count, I have 13 wins until Platinum. So I'd really like to grind as many of these wins as I can. But full transparency, I have been grinding, and I have lost 14 in a row. It has been an absolute comedy of errors. So, yeah, I've just decided that is not worth me posting to YouTube. Those losses were generally not very interesting, and we're just going to start from here. The deck, I was running some kaijus in the last episode or two, and they're really bricky, of course, and the deck of, beyond just the kaijus is already bricky, so I'm pivoting here a little bit. I'm doing some of the trap monsters that I have in my collection, things like the Tiki Curse, Abyss Stingray, Statue of Anguish pattern being one of the best ones, and Mimesis Elephant as somewhat of a floodgate if they are dependent on being a specific type or attribute. And beyond that, just trying to high roll some of my power cards like the Fusion Destiny. This is, not necessarily the most consistent strategy, as you might imagine, but without high rolling, as you can see from my match history, it is very difficult tonight to take down any victories. So we'll see how this deck performs. Hopefully we at least get a few packs before the session is over. All right, let's see what we can do here. The opponent won the coin toss, but is having me go first. So let's do Iperia and see if we can go anywhere from here. That is surprisingly an extender. So Trickstar Light Stage, add the Lilybell effect. I think I'm going to go ahead and go into Elf, try to draw more cards on their turn, or one card I suppose. I can go ahead and get back the Lilybell though, just as another body block. And let's set some stuff. All right, Phantom Knights. Let's go ahead and draw a card. Couldn't hurt. Other than, playing into Triple Tactics Talents or something like that, right? Really? I mean, I guess they like having stuff in the grave regardless. But it's basically like a 2-for-1, keeping me from drawing one additional card. Alright, Cherubini, pretty bad. They've got full Phantom Knights combo. Fortunately, I do think I have to give up the ghost on this one. Make it 15. All right, let's see where we can go from here. Please no Maxi. Nice, nice. Little Iperia action. Drawing the red-eyed dice, which I absolutely don't need. See if this fishes that response that they had before. Probably an Ash. All right. Maybe not. Alright, Deer Note effect. This, I believe, will be summon number 5, so get to that all-important Nibiruing phase. but nothing there. Interesting. Okay. We live. If I had a different trap monster card in hand, I might go Solo Hat Rabbit. As it stands, I just do the classic. Try to draw one more card on their turn. Reinforcement of the army. Why did I almost say that with an accent? Go ahead and do this because they can't use Imperm while they have that card, obviously. Ooh, grabbing the Dusk Crow. So we are up against Hero. Ledger Book, you know, also a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Gotta be honest. Mass Hero Fountain, special summon a hero in defense position. I will go ahead and Little Knight this. Don't want to give them easy access to Poly. Obviously, they'll still have a normal summon and probably even more extension based off of what they send in the graveyard. So I'll just try to Phalanx the next thing too. Shadow Mist, add a hero. Adding the Vision Hero Ferris. Ferris effect. They're going to place a Vision Hero and set a mask change. I will go ahead and Phalanx before they have the Vision Hero. They normal Stratos, it doesn't really matter, but we'll see. Alright. Summoning out the Dusk Crow. Did I say crown earlier? Okay. Adding more stuff. Do they play 2 Violent? Adding the Furnace. Furnace gets them to mask change or Poly, so that is it, unfortunately. All right, surely this time. Terratop effect. Grab the red-eyed dice. Normal. And let's go ahead and increase the level here. Set up the Wind Pegasus for the Graveyard Shuffling effect. Special the Tricky and link into our ever faithful SP Little Knight. I would love to know my opponent's reactions when I, throw my whole hand into like 1 or 2 interactions. Like they must get a little bit of joy out of it sometimes. Well, Fuma Wave probably goes decently hard here. I have no cards in hand, so as soon as they get the boss monster that requires a discard, It's kind of over in that regard. Adding the Mitsurugi ritual. Using the Mitsurugi ritual. No, I think I gotta go next. Just sitting here thinking I don't have enough. Okay, well, this is not much to go on here. I am feeling very strongly about just setting my spell traps and leaving it at that. Foxytune not gonna do nada by herself. Opponent's on a 50 card deck, so always possible they might brick or something along those lines. Abyss Stingray can't be destroyed by battle, so, you know, we'll see what happens. Normaling, Breaker, the Magical Warrior. Holy hell. Targeting, in fact, my best card. Nice. I suppose I do still want to not take damage. I could Foxytune right now, but I'm just not feeling it. I want to see more of what I'm dealing with here. Normaling Ra's Disciple. I'm gonna have to Fogblade Ra's Disciple, I think. Overlaying into Utopia. That's not gonna do it by itself, but it is a little scary. In terms of, you know, Zeus play. Looks like they're not doing that, so I will take the opportunity to pop Utopia. Okay, well, let's see if they have an Ash Blossom for me. Seems they don't. Head to battle. Seems like maybe they're on like some kind of beginner deck maybe, or possibly Masochist. Setting a monster. Is it Man-Eater Bug? Let's find out. Ooh. Witch of the Black Forest. Well, I do have to keep playing. What's the ad here? Cyber Larva. Okay. Alright. No real reason to commit. If they Raigeki or something like that, I really want to have Deer Note's Revive effect to keep me in the game. MST popping the Super Rush Headlong, which I suppose is fair enough. Might as well use it. I don't know what they're going to summon, but we'll just call Dark. With any luck, they won't read that card, and they'll summon a Dark. Ooh. T-set. A little bit scary. Do like seeing the punishment. Cymer larva. Let's keep the train rolling, I suppose. Do they have a third one? Wow. They really did. Okay. I mean, it's looking promising so far. This is the first promising duel of a very long session, let me say. Monster Reborn. Targeting the Utopia. That is a little scary. I won't lie. I think I'm gonna bounce it just for the sake of tempo. So Dogmatica Punishment, sending the Golden Cloud Beast. And the Golden Cloud Beast bouncing that guy back into the extra. It's a shame I don't have a level 2 in the graveyard where I could really capitalize off of, you know, Mimesis Elephant into Sprite Elf. Ooh, Statue of Anguish pattern though. Pretty decent. I may not be winning, but I am not losing. Sanguine. Okay, we did Witch, now we do Sanguine. Getting a Ra's Disciple. I imagine I know what they're summoning next. Does it summon from graveyard as well? No, just hand or deck, so they can use him to get one additional dude. Ooh, Polly. Okay. We are making plays. Fusing off the Mystical Elf and the right arm of the Forbidden One. For first of the dragons. Hello. Unaffected by monsters' effects. Okay. Now we go Ra's Disciple. Let's see what they declare an attack on. Okay, going for the Deer Note, so they may not realize that I get the revive. For the sake of link material, I am gonna kill that thing. All right, time to make some plays. Fusion Destiny in hand is unbelievably sick. Wow, really wish that I had, I don't know, more plays than this, but this'll work. This'll do it, I think. Will it do it? This is actually not going to do it. But at least DPE will keep the rest of their game plan in check. I will go ahead and pop the Ra's Disciple. All right, setting 1. Should not set before the battle phase, my friend. Ooh, the imperm. Yeah, I guess I'll get this guy. All right, Fusion Destiny pop and TPE revive. All right, now we do the attack mode thingy. Try to bait them into attacking. So I think this is a permanent attack loss. Okay. Finally found an out, which is just being annoying until they switch it to defense position. Go in battle. That's fine. I'll just pass back. Hopefully I get some sort of spell trap removal. There should be plenty of stuff. Okay, so Wall of D. Bring their attack down, and then chain DPE to pop the new set. Pretty good, pretty good. I cannot believe how much I am struggling to overcome these cards. Oh my god. You know, this duel is going in my favor, but it is not looking good. Okay. So I imagine next turn. Next turn, he'll turn that thing sideways. And then on my next turn, I banish with Ledger Book and finally win the duel. What do we think? He could try to attack into my set, and that'd be fine. Lily Ball has 2k defense. We're fine there. Yep, going sideways. All right. So if my calculations are correct, they will gain 1,000 life, and then DPE is good enough for exact lethal damage, unless they are on something silly like Battle Fader. But let's not think about that. Let's just think about the fact that this is going to be my first victory of this session, which I'm sure I'm editing down for y'all. But I think I am an hour and a half in. All right, we got the victory. All right, it has been a brutal grind trying to get this specific master pack. So can I pretty please get something good? Trickstar Band, Sweet Guitar. All right. I believe that is now my third Ledger Book, and to be fair, there have been a lot of duels where it really overperforms. Do I need a playset though? Mystic Swordsman's level 2. Another Speedroid Den Daiko Duke. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon a Speedroid Tuner from your hand or graveyard, except Speedroid Den Daiko Duke. Not bad, obviously. If I search it with Terror Top, it is a level 3 tuner, so I can make a 6. I'll have to see if there's any 6. Well, I do have the 6 that can revive itself from grade. Kendama, I believe it is called. Not the worst. Venom Shot, so whatever, reptile card. Yeah, Venoms specifically. DD Savant Galilei, Dark Magic Twin Burst, and Reptilian Gardner. A lot of reptile stuff. Unfortunately, you know, I guess I'll take the third Ledger Book, and the Daiko Duke is okay. It's certainly, you know, opens up more options as far as like Terror Top targets, but not the strongest pack considering it took me like an hour and a half to get it. All right, let's keep on going. Right, loading in. What? Well, that's 2 in a row, technically. All right, well, going from starving for an hour and a half for a pack to getting 2 in a row. Prey of the Jirai Gumo. Ooh, I mean, considering that I'm literally playing trap monster stuff right now, having a trap monster that is straight up just removal for the column is not bad. I think I may even have like a Sangha or something in the collection. Not that that matters too much right now. Sanctuary in the Sky. Honestly, I have a bunch of Sanctuary support cards. Don't mind picking that up. Shining Draw, not useful. Parthian Shot, don't think I care about. End of the battle phase, it becomes the end phase. Funny, but not really a game plan in itself, is it? Tuning Magician, I don't think I'm familiar here. If you have 2 Magician cards in your Pendulum Zones while this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is normal or special summoned, your opponent gains 400 and you take 400. So kind of whatever the opposite of Power Creep is for the Pendulum monster that can special. Okay. Snake Eye Birch, interesting card. If I control a fire, I can special it. And I don't think I have many other Snake Eye cards, but I'm not mad about it. Beast of Talwar, the Sword Summit. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. The first time this card would be destroyed by an opponent's card effect each turn, it is not destroyed. Neither player can target other monsters with equip spell cards or effects. This is honestly not terrible. And it's an Archfiend card for whenever that support drops. Do I run it? I have a lot of monsters that require controlling no monsters to special themselves. So unfortunately it does conflict with a lot of what I'm already doing. Certainly not the worst card I've seen. And the last one is Vampire Sorcerer. I do have some vampire spell traps. Pretty, unfortunately, like outdated, I think, to be able to run it. Okay. Well, I guess given that this is basically a free pack, not bad at all. All right, loading in and going first here. Not much to do for this hand. I suppose it is just one of those SP pass kind of hands. Let's see if it's enough. Normal the S-Force Aurifist. And setting. Signet Backdoor, target a Cyberse, banish it, and if you do, add a Cyberse from deck to hand with attack that is lower than that monster's original attack. I guess I will Little Knight that. Seems worth it. I think usually, you know, they've got 1800 attack. They probably should have just gone battle phase. Unless this is all part of the plan. I mean, surely they would want to put it in the same column. Is it worth doing the tricky? That's the question. It does put more damage on board. Hopefully the set is not something crazy. But this allows me to keep Super Rush Headlong and maybe trap them at a different time. I imagine they're probably bricked on normal summons, so I'm curious to see what else they've got in their hand. Ooh, Crimson Gaia. Why are we playing S-Force in here and Crimson Gaia? This is pretty random. Huh, not sure what happened there. Well, I've gone from straight up starving to feasting. That last opponent activated Crimson Gaia and then just waited for their entire timer to fade away. They kind of like roped me or something? I don't know. But I guess I'm grateful for the pack. Test Bear, Gladiator Beast card. Regenesis Cycle. Not a great card even in Regenesis. Traptrix Pudica. You can only use blah blah blah. Add a Trap Trip Garden when normal summoned, and if it's special summoned, target a special summon monster your opponent controls. Banish it. During the next standby phase, your opponent can special summon one of their banished monsters. Pretty decent, obviously, in Traptrix, but I don't have a ton of that. The Serpent of Golconda. If you control a face-up card in your field zone, you can special summon it from your hand. That is the good text on this card for my purposes. It also protects Golconda, but I don't think I'm going to be on Springen anytime soon. Witchcrafter Draping. The Legendary Fisherman 2, the sequel. Soul Piercer, pretty darn good, super heavy samurai card. What is the Hollow? Ooh. Crystron Sulfador. Good Crystron card. I think I might have like the level 1 tuner that, you know, it can synchro with stuff in your hand, one of the older cards. Aside from that, I don't think I have a lot of Crystron stuff, unfortunately. Very cool card, though. All right, let's keep going, I guess. All right, going first here, the opening hand, really not doing anything, literally not doing anything, so here goes Pot of Desires. Unfortunately breaking the DPE, the Fusion Destiny rather. That also did not do very much. Not a single normal summon to be had. So let's see if we can hang in there for a while. Ooh, Shining Sark. Probably should be activating that in the draw phase to dodge out of Droll. Alright, Dark Magician Girl. This is a card that I do have a counter to in Trap Hole Nightmare. Given that we just saw the Orchist counter trap in the graveyard, though, very likely they have more gameplays to be making. Pitching an Imperm, is this Diabell? Yes. Unfortunately, I think that does basically do it for me. We go next. All right, we're going second here. The opponent does have only 9 cards in the extra deck, so it's possible it won't be the craziest thing ever. Adding a Torrential Tribute. That's already not looking lovely. What is the graveyard effect here? If a water monster would be destroyed, you can banish that instead. All right, so let's set everything. Yeah, let's set everything. Okay. Hopefully they can just remain bricked, I don't know, let's say for several turns. Setting another. I'll go ahead and get the Tiki Curse out. They want to torrential that, that's fine. Let's see if the trap is applicable here. Apparently not. I do think I'll leave it there for now. The torrential tribute does complicate things as far as tempo. Sacking it off for a kaiju. So upgrading my monster for free. Okay. Tributing for the Shadow Monarch. You know, I think I'll just special that kaiju back next turn, actually. I would like to have him back. Well, well, well. If it isn't a guy that can't be destroyed by battle. You gotta read. You gotta read, friend. Alright, I imagine they torrential here since the Centurion card... Oh, wait. It specials it to their side. Interesting. Why did I think I would get it? Okay, well, they still have to out my Abyss Stingray. Probably with a Kaiju. Also, I'm realizing that I didn't set the Fairy Wind for basically no reason. Okay, well, you know. High five. Terratop is not bad. It'll at least get them to spend more cards negating it, perhaps. Torrential Tribute. Wow. Sure. It does out my unbattleable boy, but that is okay. Happy to pass on this. End phase. Okay, do they just have like nothing but kaijus and monarchs in hand? Is that what's happening? They need me to summon stuff to actually do anything? Whatever I summon gets kaiju'd, so I'm gonna hold off until I have more of an actual push to make. Alright, so that's crazy, by the way. Feather Duster off the top. And end phase. I guess let's set the cards now. I don't even want to set anything, because I know it's going to get kaiju'd. Slash draw. Discarding the talents. Ooh. Kaiju Slumber and Grave. And they got to add Lightning Storm to hand. Kinda lame. Alright, well, given that I know they have Light Storm, or Lightning Storm rather, I will go ahead and see if this is another Torrential Tribute. Apparently not. Let's go Light Stage. Add a Lilybell. Lilybell Special. Light Stage Effect to lock down the set. Not bad, not bad. They have Nibiru, they have Nibiru. What do I say? Alright, this gets us 4,200 worth of damage. Which at least turns off, like, Verte. Issue here, of course, is that they do have a kaiju. So I think I do have to leave it at that. Alright, go ahead and throw that away. Oh, there's another kaiju slumber. So they can add whatever kaiju they want now. Yep, there goes Elf. Interesting. I would have thought they would hit the Gamma Seal just so they could kaiju over anything else I might do. Tribute. Another Caius. Sure. Well, it's looking pretty bad at this point. Very silly. This does allow me to kill the Caius. Doesn't do much else for me. And they can search an additional kaiju. Yep. That is the third interrupted kaiju slumber, I believe. Or no, I guess they shuffled one back, maybe. Technically, we're equal, though. We got equal life points. That means it's equal, right? Can this please be something good? Oh, no. I just used... Oh, my gosh. That is heartbreaking. Okay, you've got it, man. Fusion Destiny when I just bricked it. Alright, our opponent is going first. Looking at the hand, you know, not the worst thing I've ever seen. Got a free special. I've got a draw one. Ooh, DDD though. Oh, okay, they did not have combo. You know, I'm happy to accept that charity after the kind of heartbreaker duel that came before it, where I bricked Fusion Destiny and then drew Fusion Destiny. Let's see what I got for my masterful move of my opponent bricking. Dragon Mastery. What is this? Is this one of the new Dragoonity cards? Fair enough. Corruption Cell A. Lunalite Purple Butterfly. Bravo Fighter for Hire. Ooh, Primitive Planet Reichphobia. When this card is activated, add a Scareclaw or Vsauce Starfrost from deck to hand. Opponents lose a little bit of attack. If three or more defense position monsters are on the field, target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. Monster or spell trap. The nice thing there is I do have two different Scareclaw names, two of the little level 3 guys. I think they're all level 3. Maybe I'm wrong there. One of them I have 2 copies of, so that is pretty nice. Deep Sea Artisan. Mischief of the Yokai. Each face-up monster on the field loses 2 levels until the end phase. You can remove from play this card from your graveyard to select one face-up monster and reduce its level by 1 until the end phase. This effect cannot be activated the turn this card is sent to the graveyard. Interesting card. In the current deck that I'm running, I think I'm running 2 of the ledger books, so I think I'll swap out one of them for this card, just because there are certain decks where this basically stops them from making their plays. Last card, Stellar Nova Alpha, so a Tellarknight card. All right, well, interesting pack. I do enjoy seeing the field spell there, because if I draw any more, or sorry, not draw, but if I pull any more Scareclaw stuff, that is going to be hugely applicable. All right. All right, going second this time around, and the hand is not looking amazing, but you never know what'll happen. Sprite Red, oh no. A proper Sprite player. Into Sprite Jet. Okay, I think with this hand, unfortunately, I just have to try my luck next time. Alright, going second once more. The opponent's on 60 and 15. This hand, however, it's kind of doo-doo. I won't lie to you. Nightmare Apprentice. I imagine we're getting a Hecka Hands kind of thing. It's either that or Chimera. Yeah, the Chimera stuff. That is enough for me to go next. Okay, going second for the 3rd time in a row. So for those of you probability enjoyers, you'll know that's a 1 in 8 chance of that happening 3 times in a row. But at least this time around, there's some going second action in hand. So Galaxy Cyclone to take out a set. Fusion Destiny to maybe get DPE if they don't have a negate, or Ash Blossom. Or I guess Impulse at this point too. That was not an issue when DPE first came out. Ooh, Pendulum. First time seeing Pendulum today. Pendulum Shift. Okay. Given that they've got 14 and extra and they're playing Pendulum Shift, maybe this is the structure deck? Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon, so they now have 2 high scales, which does not seem ideal given that they had a card that could have solved that problem for them. Cleafort. Okay, well, I guess we will just go ahead and kill them. I mean, DPE into Pendulum, I feel like, is pretty unbeatable. Let's pop, I don't know, Harmonizing? Go to battle. Swing on the Cleafort. Get my little dude. And then I can actually use little guy to get my little, not little, but my towers. Behemoth has not performed great yet. There's just kind of a lot of graveyard monster effects that take him out. But when you're already set up, you know, he helps you to win more. He's a win more card. Win more. And we all know that win more cards are really good, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. Getting the Tuning Magician, which I actually just pulled earlier. Yep, that is a reasonable response. Well, I'm glad things have turned around. It was looking like I would basically have to just not play Yu-Gi-Oh! On this account for quite a while. So I'm glad to see that I'm actually able to land some packs in gold. Alright, Malefic World, Speedroid, Clearwing Wonder. I do have a lot of Speedroids, sort of. I don't have a lot of Wind Synchro monsters that I want to run. I'm currently running like one, I think. Alright, Red Ogre, Tindangle Intruder, Hypno Sister. This any good? This card gains effects based on the total number of cards in both players' pendulum zones. Interesting. 1 or more gains attack. 2 or more at the start of the damage step. If it battles a pendulum summoned monster, destroy that monster. 3 or more monsters your opponent controls must attack this card. And 4, if this card destroys a monster by battle or by its own effects, draw a card. Okay, so clearly something that came out in the Pendulum era. Maybe I knew what this card was at one point. Borreload Fatal Flare Dragon. Takes a Dark Link monster and a Dark monster, not impossible at all to meet those conditions. If it's fusion summoned, add a rocket from deck to hand. You can target a Dark monster you control, equip it with a Dark Link monster from grave, or banishment as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, target a card on the field and destroy it. I do have a quick play fusion spell. I think it's like Flash Fusion or something. So I could definitely use that to summon this guy, and then link it off to get the pop. And like link into SP, pop 1, banish 1. Not terrible sounding. Interesting. Glad to have that in the back pocket. Not sure that it's going in right this second. Photon Advancer. Okay. And Void Launch. 8 new cards, so I do like to see that. Nothing that's going in the deck right away, though. Right, going second. The opponent's on 58 cards. Foolish Burial Goods. Pretty decent when you're on a giant pile deck. What are we sending? Sending the Curse of Diabel. Adding Filia Diabel, which can then add a level 8 or higher Diabel. Probably getting the Diabel. Oh, Diabel's the White Witch. Okay. Send a Sinful Spoils or Diabel card. Okay, there's the Vengeance. It is rather unfortunate that Diabel's the White Witch basically directly counters DPE. I guess let's try to get some stuff baited out. See if they got anything here. Apparently not. Let's add stuff. Give him a little spook. Fusion Destiny. Just start ripping apart their field, I guess. Leave it at that for now. Okay, I was hoping I could see some additional interaction, but apparently not. Yup. Going battle phase already. Interesting. Okay, well, things are going okay so far, I guess. Ooh, Fog Blade honestly might cinch things a little bit. Alright. Set the Fog Blade. I wonder if they'll try to pop it. Oh, they will. They're going to go down to 1,000 life points. Wow. DPE come back. Things are getting a little bit dire. I'm gonna have to pop that synchro before my turn, unless they just sync it off right now. Dang. Okay, can I pretty please get something good? Nope. Alright, well, I guess they have it. Alright, well, unfortunately, my time is over for the session. Did manage to get 5 wins after struggling for a long time, but yeah, it certainly was quite a struggle to start out with. I've got 9 legacy packs. I'm just going to open them all at once, see if there's anything worth adding to the deck, and then I'll call it for the night. Alright, Swap Frog, wow. Okay, that's got to be one of the best legacy pack cards. Obviously much better if I can get a bunch of the other frog stuff. Let's see what else we have here. World Legacy Cliffhanger. When an attack is declared involving 2 Link monsters, shuffle all monsters on the field and in the graveyard into the deck. Unfortunately, not going to happen all the time. Looking around here, level 2. Once per turn during your main phase, you can make it level 3. No thank you. What else? Signet Cascade. If you link summon a link monster, target a monster in your graveyard, use it as its material, special summon it. Maybe that gets played in the Cyber Slop deck. Final attack orders. All face-up monsters on the field are changed to attack position, and their battle positions cannot be changed. Not useful now, but might be in some brew at some point. Well, not the craziest legacy pack pulls, but you know, I'm happy with a bunch of the cards that I did pull this episode, and you know, got a bit closer to finishing out gold, hoping that I can get all the way through to platinum during the next episode. But anyway, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of these episodes, please subscribe, etc., all those things. But yeah, hope you're having a good one, and I'll catch you next time.